Scientists can map the brain, but can they explain the mind? Across near-death experiences, reincarnation memories, and quantum experiments, one question remains. Does consciousness survive the body? Join us as we explore the science and the mystery of the human soul. What if your thoughts, your memories, your deepest feelings, your very sense of self could exist entirely without your brain? What if the essence of who you are is unconfined to the 3 pounds of tissue inside your skull? Mainstream science would call such an idea impossible, a relic of ancient superstitions. Consciousness, they insist, is a biological process, a ghost in the machine that dies when the machine powers down. But what if the machine is just a receiver? Hundreds, even thousands of people from all walks of life and every corner of the globe claim to have experienced exactly that, a separation of mind and body. They claim to have left their physical forms, journeyed into other realms, and then, against all odds, returned. These aren't just stories whispered in the dark. They are documented accounts, often from the sterile, brightly lit corridors of hospitals, challenging the very foundations of what we believe about life, death, and what it means to be human. They force us to ask a profound question. Is the self merely an illusion created by our neurons, or is it something far more enduring, something that science is only beginning to comprehend? The answer could redefine our existence. For decades, neuroscience has held a firm and seemingly unshakable position on the nature of consciousness. According to this view, everything you experience, the joy of seeing a loved one, the intricate logic of a math problem, the simple awareness of your own breath, is the product of electrochemical activity. Billions of neurons organized into complex networks fire in precise patterns, creating the rich tapestry of your inner world. This is the materialist perspective. Consciousness is an emergent property of the brain, much like wetness is an emergent property of water molecules. It doesn't exist independently. When the brain's activity ceases, so does the mind. This model has been incredibly successful, allowing us to map brain regions responsible for language, emotion, and memory. Tools like fMRI scans can literally watch the brain think, showing which areas light up when we perform different mental tasks. From this standpoint, the soul is a metaphor, a poetic term for the complex functions of the cerebral cortex. There is no need for an external, non-physical component. However, on the fringes of physics, where the solid rules of our everyday world dissolve into a reality of probabilities and paradoxes, a different story is beginning to take shape. Some of the most brilliant minds in quantum physics have dared to suggest that the materialist view is incomplete. Sir Roger Penrose, a Nobel laureate and mathematical physicist, alongside anesthesiologist Stuart Hameroff, proposed a radical theory known as orchestrated objective reduction, or ORCH, O-R. They argue that consciousness isn't computed in the brain like a piece of software. Instead, it arises from quantum processes occurring within microscopic structures inside our neurons called microtubules. In this model, these microtubules act as quantum computers, processing information at a level far more fundamental than simple neural firing. Penrose goes even further, suggesting that this quantum consciousness is not confined to the brain, but is connected to a fundamental level of reality, woven into the very fabric of the universe itself. According to this mind-bending idea, the universe isn't a silent, empty stage upon which consciousness randomly appeared. Instead, consciousness might be an intrinsic property of the cosmos, and our brains are merely biological antennas, exquisitely tuned to receive and interpret this universal field. This doesn't disprove neuroscience, it reframes it. The brain's activity might not be creating consciousness, but rather translating it, making it manifest in our physical reality. Suddenly, the possibility that consciousness could persist beyond the body is no longer just a spiritual belief. it becomes a question of physics. This theoretical debate takes on a startlingly practical dimension when we examine the phenomenon of near-death experiences, or NDEs. These are not fever dreams or hallucinations on the edge of sleep. They are profound, often life-altering events reported by individuals who were clinically dead. Their hearts had stopped beating, their brains showed no measurable activity. Yet they returned to life with detailed memories of what transpired during that time. Thousands of meticulously documented medical cases from around the world report a strikingly consistent narrative. The journey often begins with a sensation of floating, of rising up and out of one's physical body. Many describe looking down from a corner of the ceiling, observing the frantic scene of their own resuscitation with a sense of calm detachment. They can hear the conversations of doctors and nurses, see the specific instruments being used, and observe family members in waiting rooms. Details they could not possibly have known through conventional senses, and which are often later verified as being startlingly accurate. After this out-of-body phase, the experience frequently deepens. A common element is the journey through a tunnel, a passage of darkness culminating in a brilliant, loving, and indescribably beautiful light. This light is not just a visual phenomenon, it's described as an intelligent, compassionate presence, radiating unconditional love and profound wisdom. Within this realm, individuals often report meeting deceased relatives or spiritual figures who communicate with them, not through spoken words, but through a form of direct, instantaneous thought transfer. A life review is another powerful and recurring theme where the person's entire life flashes before them, not as a simple montage of memories, but as an immersive experience where they feel the emotional impact of their actions on every person they ever interacted with. What are they really seeing? Skeptics propose biological explanations, such as a flood of endorphins, a lack of oxygen to the brain, or activity in the temporal lobe, all of which could produce unusual sensory experiences. But these explanations struggle to account for the clarity, the structured narrative, the verifiable out-of-body observations, and the profound, lasting psychological transformation that so many experiencers undergo. These accounts describe moments of hyper-real lucidity and coherent thought at a time when, according to our current medical understanding, no thought should be possible. They present a direct challenge to the idea that the mind is locked inside the brain. The mystery deepens when we consider the phenomenon of reincarnation and past life memories, particularly in young children. While often dismissed as fantasy or the product of suggestion, some cases, rigorously investigated by researchers like the late Dr. Ian Stevenson at the University of Virginia, are exceptionally difficult to explain away. These are not vague feelings of déjà vu. They involve young children, sometimes as young as 2 or 3 years old, who begin speaking of a previous life with astonishing detail. They might name specific people from their other family, describe the layout of a house in a town they've never visited, recall the exact circumstances of a past death, and even speak in a dialect or foreign language they have never been taught. In the most compelling cases, these details are meticulously cross-referenced and verified. Investigators have traveled to the villages mentioned by the children, found records of the deceased individuals they claim to have been, and confirmed the specific, often obscure facts of their lives and deaths with surviving family members. In some extraordinary instances, children have even been found to have birthmarks or physical deformities that uncannily correspond to the fatal wounds sustained by the person whose life they remember. For example, a child recalling a life that ended with a gunshot wound to the chest might be born with a distinct, discolored patch of skin in that exact location. How is this possible? Could consciousness, containing the essence of our memories and personality, somehow detach from a deceased body and later attach to a new, developing one? Is it possible that memory isn't just a chemical trace stored in the brain's synapses, but a form of information that can be transferred across time and between different physical forms? This idea treats consciousness not as a fleeting byproduct of biology, but as a fundamental unit of information, capable of being stored, transmitted, and downloaded, much like data flowing through the vast network of the internet. The concept is staggering, pushing the boundaries of what we consider possible and forcing us to question the linear, one-way nature of life and identity. Perhaps we have been asking the wrong questions all along. We search for the soul as if it were an organ, a thing to be located and dissected within the physical body. But what if it's not a thing at all? Maybe the soul isn't a belief to be held or rejected, but a field to be detected. Similar to how gravity or the electromagnetic spectrum permeate the universe, unseen but with measurable effects, consciousness could be a fundamental field that our brains are uniquely evolved to interact with. It wouldn't be located inside us, but rather we would be located inside it. From this perspective, our individual consciousness is a temporary focal point, a localized whirlpool in a vast, universal ocean of awareness. Science has a long history of initially denying what it cannot yet measure. For centuries, we had no tools to detect radio waves or microbes, yet they existed all the same. It's possible we are now at a similar frontier with consciousness. Our current instruments, designed to measure the physical world, may be blind to this deeper reality. The ultimate mystery is not whether we exist, but the very nature of that existence. The question is no longer, do we have a soul, but where does it go when the body stops?